first and foremost, can you kind of just tell me what your offseason looked like, what you're up to?
Yeah, off season was kind of just, spending as much time with the family as possible, doing as much hunting as possible as well. And then from there, just trying to, get all my work in. Took probably the first 6 weeks off of all baseball activity other than, lifting and training and stuff like that. But once I got home, just, tried to soak up as much time as possible, do a little bit of golfing. And then after about 6 weeks, started to hit again, started to do some of my catching work again and everything like that. And then I would say around mid-November, like maybe a little bit more towards like Thanksgiving, I started to get back into throwing and everything like that. And then I'd say once like right around that Christmas time, I really, honed in, started really challenging myself, whether it was hitting, catching, lifting, whatever it was, just trying to, make things as difficult as possible to allow myself to have the most success I could have this year. And honestly, one of those like things that we kind of talk about is don't like ever be satisfied with what you're doing. And, I think the key is failure leads to a success. So if you're going out hitting and, you hit 10 balls out of 10 out of the ballpark, then, maybe it's time to, up the difficulty, whether, we got the machine out there, challenge yourself with a little bit harder shape or a little bit firmer shape or whatever it is. But I would say, just always keep striving and, don't be satisfied with your training and continue to like push the envelope.
Yeah, I know you said, you were pushing this off season more than you had in the past. What looked different about that for you than off seasons in the past?
I think for me, it was just one of those things like, coming off my first season, I knew what I needed to work on. And I think this off season, it was one of those where I just kind of needed to fine tune some things. So I really took a deep dive into understanding how to be able to notice things on my own. I think that's been a big thing. Like in the past, it's always been like I'll go through a really rough patch and it's like I just don't know how to get out of it. I think this year or this off season, I've really tried to focus on like if I notice something is not feeling right or maybe the results aren't there, I'll go back and watch video and try to pick up on things that maybe I'm not realizing I'm doing. And then if I do, like going into that point where like I understand what I need to do and what I need to change. So I think that was a big thing that I really was focusing on and trying to work on. Yeah. And just understanding how to be able to recognize those things on my own.
Now, have you seen that on a game-to-game basis? Are you able to make those sorts of adjustments on the fly better than you were a season ago? Or is it more so like, I'm going to look back at this week of games?
Usually I try to do it game to game. And there's even times like in the game, like I'll feel something. And so I try to make, really been trying to focus on that at bat to at bat. Also that pitch to pitch, like just trying to like pick up on things a little bit quicker. And I think that understanding that has helped me because it's one of those like, if you wait a week to look back, then that muscle memory is already kind of kicked in. So for me, I've been trying to focus on like taking it at bat to at bat or pitch to pitch or whatever it may be and just making sure that I understand like those things that are happening and just like how to correct it.
Yeah, you had about 75 games here last year. I know the numbers probably weren't what you were hoping they would be. We've talked to guys up at the big leagues like Colton Cowser, who struggled at the end of last year, and he said it was hugely valuable for him coming into 2024, and he's had a ton of success. Kind of a similar thing for you, where the numbers maybe weren't what you wanted them to be last year, but they're great, obviously, to start the season so far. How important was that experience and learning from that for you this year?
I think it was great. I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, where that failure leads to success. And like, if you embrace it, then it's only going to help you. And I think like, I had a really good start to the year last year in Delmarva. And then I came up here and it was solid. And then, July, it kind of tanked. And I just think that by that point, it was one of those things that whenever I was going out there, I wasn't sure what I was doing wrong. And I think just trying to pick up on that and just learn from that and making sure that you don't let, the frustration of the struggles like really get to you, and just, going from there. And I think it's one of those things you always want to come back the next year better than you were the year before. I think that's one thing I'm striving to do. And I think it's one of those, like, you always want to be better today than you were yesterday.
Yeah. So, you've mentioned that theme there of not being satisfied, of trying to push to be better. Obviously, first month of the season, you've had some awards rolling. It was a great month for you. What are kind of the next steps to say, okay, I'm not satisfied with that, I'm going to keep pushing it?
I think just, I had my first, player of the week and player of the month, and like, take a couple days, like, be happy about it. But I think at the end of the day, like, it's not done. Like, you still got a full season ahead. And I think the important thing for me is to, take that and be proud of it. But also realize that, let's keep going up from here. Let's not take the foot off the gas and, kind of just coast the rest of the year, but let's just try to, keep pushing and be better this month than I was last month.